Alright, we're going to be doing a game of 40k with Tipping Point as primary objective. So I have him as a hyper-adaptive from the Invasion Fleet, and then of course this guy has the Feel No Pain for my Neuro Tyrant. I've got a few Rippers and Parasite Moloch, just because he looks really cool. Exocrine and some Tyrannifexes with the Rupture Cannon, because of course he did. I've got 3 squads of Termagants and a squad of Hormagaunts for about 40 fun little models for him to play with. A good Maliceptor, a Trigon, 2 Biovores, and a Lictor, just for fun. And then over here, can we talk about John?
Yeah, so we've got a unit of Reaver Jet Bikes, 2 heavy weapon Spiriges, a unit of Cabalites led by a they're Archon, yeah, and he's got leech bite plate, nothing good. Small unit of Mandrakes, some backfield shenanigans, unit of Witches led by Lilith, they're all going to be in the Raiders and around. Got 2 Incubi squads, one led by Drazar, one led by Libby Malice. They're going to be using the Venoms. Unit of Hellions, because Skycape Boys are fun, and then a Chronos and the Talos can do some extra paint tokens, hopefully, and deal with some of the mid-sized bugs.
Alright, let's see how the game goes. Alright, so here we are. The Dracari are going to wind up moving first. So I've got my Tyranids placed out in a very wonderful frontage. The objective is to kick the objective markers towards the opponent's deployment zone and then have control over theirs. The closer it is or within the opponent's deployment zone, the more points you get for it. And our Dracari player here has strategically reallocated all of his stuff from his left flank over to his right flank, making my deployment as lopsided as his. So we'll see how this plays out, and hopefully it'll be a great game. Alright, so at the end of battle round 1, it looks like these infiltrators here took the objective down the road, and then at the end of my combat phase, it took the match up, so it's going to show up back here. We've got this nice little line of vehicles here, which were all injured by rupture cannons, and I either rolled really poorly or they made their 6+ invulnerable saves because of Geldar. We've got a bunch of Tyranids over here with nothing to eat in front of them, which is unfortunate. And then we've got a Lictor over here stuck in with the jet bikes, and then of course we were able to kick that objective mark down the road a little bit. So we'll see how this round unfolds. Alright, so Tyranids got no prisoners and sabotage, so we were able to not just kick the objective marker down a little farther, but get some sabotage and stuff in there. There is one small problem. My Hormagaunts failed a 6-inch charge. My giant monsters couldn't take care of 5 harpies. Nor could we get rid of this Eldar Raider, which keeps rolling 6+ invulnerable saves, making it literally invulnerable to roll damage. We have the Maliceptor, who killed the enemy far enough that he needed a 4-inch charge and rolled a 3, which is about right. My Termagant, which needed a 9-inch charge, and rolled an 8. And yeah, so none of my stuff was able to make any charges in this phase, and all of his characters just so happen to have survived, even though I used the anti-infantry as well as paying command points to give some precision out, which wound up to do literally nothing. So that was very interesting. The Dark Eldar, however, are in fairly good positions to make their moves and to deal damage right back to me. So we'll see how this plays out. Alright, so we're at the bottom of round 3. It looks like the Parasite of Mortex actually got up there and did his job, making 2 little Ripper Swarms. And those little guys are doing a great job. This one over here is my little action bunny. He's going to see if we can kick that objective all the way to the home run. He hyper-focused on blowing up that one Raider and completely missed the Scourges on top of the building, because that's what you do. And this Tyrannifex hyper-focused on blowing up what I was? The Talos. Hyper-focused on blowing up the Talos, doing 20 damage, and then completely missed the Witches. So when it came to the charge phase, the Hive Tyrant decided to do nothing, leaving the Tyrannifex to run in there with his measly 4 attacks to get the job done, and claim that easy target objective. Mormagons got into combat for the first time this game and didn't kill 5 light infantry commanders. He's about right. With he's down to 1 remaining by Trigon, so he ran away because these people are really mean and will eat him up. And then we have this battle. And might I say that the number of ones rolled this round is roughly 40 to 50% of total dice on both sides. So we're not exactly doing a whole lot of damage to each other at this point. Alright, so the end of this next battle round, the Dark Eldar player got no prisoners and they took none. They killed off my Hormagons very cruelly. He had a jet biker run over my Turvagon and blow it up. It was subsequently eaten by my Hive Tyrant, as Lady Malice was also eaten by my Hive Tyrant, which is about time because he made somewhere around 10 or 15 invulnerable saves on for 4+. It's crazy. The Neuro Tyrant is finally dead. There's a character nestled safely inside of that behind this giant ruins that I cannot get to. But other than that, we have pushed the objective marker all the way over here, have a few units behind enemy lines, and we'll see how the rest of the battle goes. Alright, here we have the bottom of the 5th. So the Parasite of Moloch was able to kill off those nightmares and make some more rippers, which was conveniently able to establish locusts in the enemy's deployment zone. We had the Hive Tyrant and the Tyrannifex not only blow up his last 2 substantial units, but also use Archon in that 2+ invulnerable save that he finally failed. And we had these 2 individuals sitting out here in the middle of nowhere, but very clearly on the other side of giant buildings, and I was not really able to get anything over to take care of it. So at the end of the game, because I was playing objectives, I was able to get 58 to 30. And there was not a whole lot the Dark Eldar player could do because he didn't have enough units that could just sit in the open where I was pushing all of these objective markers to and still do all the actions and remain alive. Well, I hope you liked that battle report. Thank you for watching, and as always, like and follow. I would like to give a great shout out to Brandon, who was my opponent today. He played very nicely. We both had equally terrible luck throughout the entire game. And so it always feels really good when both players are struggling together, you know, rather than one player winning and the other player losing. And I always love those games when it becomes closer and closer the further towards the end it gets. Well, he didn't have the people he needed to play the objective soccer game that was the scenario we were playing. He was able to maximize his potential on those secondary objectives, and he almost wound up maxing it out. But he couldn't play the primary objective game, which is really where a lot of those points came from. Anyway, thank you again, Brandon. Great game.